Hi guys, how's it going? So welcome to our stream this afternoon. We're gonna go pretty easy today, and I'm gonna be running some multipliers and talking about a few dragons and really just kind of doing my generic gameplay stuff unless you guys come up with questions. I will, I'm sure, talk briefly about the importance of having a strong roster versus just having a strong dragon. I had a couple of months ago published a breeding path that was super cheap that I designed for a couple of friends for their alts and for a couple of whales who are looking at dropping a lot of money and wanted to progress as quick as they could. But I did end up pulling that path down as soon as I realized that a lot of free players were following it because they saw cheap and to them cheap was better. With the idea that they could supplement their rosters with completely divines. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit as I do my multis about why having a diverse roster is really key to playing this game and enjoying the game. You could definitely, I guess, do okay with like a handful of dragons, but I really wouldn't recommend it because then you kind of become a burden on your team, and if you're a burden on your team, well, no one's having fun then, are they? But anyway, hi, good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm going to be drinking my lovely LaCroix throughout the stream because I have a little bit of a scratchy throat today, so yeah, I'm not used to talking this much during the summer. I just kind of sit at home and do a lot of typing. But hi guys, happy to see you. So before I get started, I do want to show you guys the rosters on both of my accounts. So on this account here, it is completely filled out. So I have my expert Desu in Emerald. I have expert Aster, also Emerald. You can see the colors around their heads if you haven't noticed that before. I have my expert Frostbiter. I have Howzit. I have Borgian here, which is from the line. I just got his Garnet Stone thanks to the event rewards last night, so he just turned Garnet. Very excited about that. I have Sage, who's currently who's currently level 48. I do have, obviously, the Emerald Stone for her, but I've been slacking a little bit on getting her multis done and feeding her, so I'm going to make sure I get that done today. Quillies and Ostros, the double twin dragons here from the Garnet tier, they're mythics. Kerbos, who is an absolute piece of trash here from Emeralds, but he does look pretty neat. So I just kind of have him on my roster here to give a little bit more diversity. And then a couple of things. Yay, Ryu. My Kanara here is a baby. I do not have any stones for her. I just hatched her to kind of bank some XP. I can usually finish 2 tiers and seasons without a problem, though this season is quite a bit more expensive and I am behind. So I just claimed Garnet tier, or the Garnet Stone for Borg, and she has no stones. So I'm going to be cutting it really close, but if I can't get her to Emerald, she'll get benched because she'll be pretty useless at Garnet for me. And then I have Algor here. So as you can tell, my roster definitely does not favor warriors. One of the reasons I don't favor warriors is, well, yeah, at the high level they just don't do very much, do they? They attack pretty well, and they are a tank dragon, so they can take a lot of damage, but their slow damage dealing means at the high level they can be out hammered pretty quickly. So I typically use Algor if I am cleaning up and it's kind of an absolute emergency to go through that. So that's my roster. I'm typically a lead flyer when it comes to wars. I don't clean up very well, but for cleanup I do use especially A&A, which is a fabulous job cleaning up, and then my stronger hunters here, so Desi and Aster. So I'm going to do a couple of multis. So hi guys, happy to see you today. It's going to be an interesting afternoon. This is very much not my normal stream time, so we'll see how this goes. If you have questions, please pop into chat. Say hello. So, hi Mac. Aren't you at work right now, Mac? I don't think you should be on a stream if you're at work. So, unfortunately, I've been considering recently doing the green tier XP research simply because my XP is only 129,000 and I think I could up it a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure, but closer to 140,000. But then I look at how much that would cost me in eggs and egg tokens, and I kind of go, maybe not the best idea. So, but I've been considering it. So if you have someone that has done all the green research, especially for XP, let me know, because I'm curious to see if you feel like that's really beneficial for you or if it hasn't really made much of a difference, etc. But we're going to start in my sorcerer end over here. Let's do some Fey runs on Allah. Everyone loves Allah. I really like Faye. I think Faye was an underrated dragon, and I noticed a lot of people went for Sage last season, who's certainly not my favorite. Like I said, the warrior line thing. And I'm not exactly a fan of warriors, as everyone knows. But I just feel like lower levels, if you got Sage, I think that was the smartest choice. And when I say lower levels, I typically mean anyone below about 90. That I think was a good choice getting Sage. Warriors until about 84 and 90 still do quite a bit of damage, considering what tier you're in and things like that. But if you are higher level, I think you should really have considered going, well, for anything else. Aster was a great choice there. And I really enjoyed Aster, but yeah. What's this say? So, P-Dog says, watching and listening to streamers in the background at work, benefits of working in IT and having multiple monitors. I'm jealous! I wish I could have multiple monitors with me and whatnot at work. We are having some lag things today. No, Mac, I don't think it's you because I'm noticing I am having some lag things going on my computer here. I'll see if I can solve it after this run because I'm noticing a bit of choppiness in my studio here. So, I don't think it's just you. No, I'm pretty sure this is on my end. Which is odd, because I have the same exact settings as I had last night. And I think, ran pretty well. So let me see if I can fiddle with my settings here in a second. Because it's like that slight delay. I see it too. Alright. Let's see if we can do some problem solving here. And it's not my phone, it's definitely my computer. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Ba-doop. Check out a few things. Okay, I just made a couple of edits here. Hope this doesn't mess with the stream too much, but I want to make this a bit better. So, okay. Alright, I just made a handful of edits, so let's see if that makes a difference. I hope it does. Oops. It's kind of touch and go, I guess. So what I'm running is I have my multiple monitors up here, and I'm streaming via QuickTime and window capture or display capture, so be interesting. So hey Copperhead, nice to see you here watching. Let's see if what I just did solved our little bit of a lag problem. If not, I guess we're gonna have to do some experimenting. So anyway, side note from technology. I'm not very technology, what would be the word? Strong. I can do the bits and pieces, and if it's Apple things, I typically do all right because I work with a lot of Apple products at work and whatnot. So, yeah. But Copper, that is my absolute favorite emoji, by the way. Is the smile that's like completely straight across, like. That's my favorite emoji. So I'm glad you posted that in chat. Hey, look, we're actually gonna level up Faye today. Isn't this exciting? Realithians, you should be excited. I'm doing all of my multis today. Savvy, that's the word I'm looking for. Challenge today. I'm definitely a night person, so streaming this early in the day for me is a little odd, but I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more available to different types of people as we go. So my summer stream schedule has me streaming every day, and I think there's 2 days total I looked at in the month of August that I'll have to change the time slightly or stream just a shorter bit of time. But I really kind of want to experiment and see where the comfort zone is for people and what people find useful, or I don't know. Also, I just like to hang out with multiple types of people. Yeah. I mean, Mecca's always here. I don't know why Mecca's always here. Okay, I think the lag's a little bit better. Am I right or am I wrong? So let me know what you think. I'm not seeing the jumpiness as much on my end, but let me know if you're seeing it more on yours still. And I'll do some more fiddling. When in doubt, Google the problem. That's my motto when it comes to streaming recently. I'm also curious how you guys fly sorcerers. So I, of course, mentioning sorcerers have to put in a Brittles joke. I did wash my hands before I started streaming because I took a shower quite recently before streaming. So I'm pretty clean, so I don't think there's going to be an issue there. But are you like a back and forth person? Are you someone that does circles? Are you someone that puts a finger on two sides of the screen? So if you don't know what that means, so there's a lot of times people put like two fingers, they'll hold it right here, and you can see on the screen the red bars kind of going across. I know that's a way some people fly sorcerers. What's the way that you guys fly sorcerers? Do you do circles? You can see the red line on my screen. I'm a circle person, and I go back and forth. Are you a line person, or are you a double tap person? I'm curious how you guys fly sorcerers when you actually attack. It's an interesting thing. There's a hair on my nose. I think it's caught on my nose ring. I'm glad that you're not getting jumping anymore. So I just changed the bitrate just a little bit. I do have really powerful internet, so it's still kind of touch and go for me about how we're doing the bitrate and what calculations we're using for that. So, yeah. Tug of War is coming up. Isn't everyone excited? How did you guys do in breeding events, too? I'm curious if anyone got anything exciting that you're super pumped for. Copperhead said, I do circles, but don't use sorcerers that much. I'm terrible with them. Copperhead! Okay, to be fair, I'm curious what tier you're in, because if you're in certain tiers, some suck a lot more than others. Anyway, Bounty Harbor stuff. So if we look at the different tiers, let me pop back a couple. So if you're in orange tier, you guys are like around orange tier, I totally get you saying that sorcerers suck unless you have Darja, because Darja's awesome. I loved Luminarch, but I think it really depends on what level you got Luminarch. According to my breeding paths on most of my accounts, except for my original, I got Luminarch really early. So I really like the Invincibility Shield and the Summon Warrior because the two-color spell made a lot of a difference. But then when we get to like green tier and things going on here, Nyx is awful. Maybe it's different now because, when I went through Nyx and everything, elemental towers didn't exist and flat cannons didn't exist, and those are technically elemental shots, I believe, depending on the attack. So maybe that's better now with Elemental Mayhem, but Elemental Mayhem's typically bad. And then 3-cost Fireball? No. I loved Munin. I don't care what anyone says. I freaking loved Munin, man. Whenever I'd fly Munin, it was so much fun. So on my alt account, I just rip Munin, like whip him out and just go attack people, and it was so much fun because Freeze is awesome. Freeze is one of my favorite red spells in the game. If every sorcerer had some type of freeze, I'd be a very, very happy camper. So Munin does okay. Nyx does really poorly. And then even if you are getting into gold tier, gold tier didn't do too well in my opinion. Cal was our history lesson time. Ready, guys? Back in the day, in the old school War Dragons day, so we only had 3 gold tier dragons come out at first. So green tier used to be the max level, or the max tier in the game. Everyone's getting greens and ripped everyone apart. And then they released Fractus Bander and Cal to introduce some new spells and things to us. So Calibog was the first time we saw Thunderstorm, and everyone thought it was so fun, and we'd do it, and we called it Disco Lights, and I remember it being such a good time. But other than that, he kind of sucked. Basil sucks. Going through here, Sec and Clet. I like Sec. I enjoy it. I just don't typically like the pathway Secronos takes. So pros and cons here, but it does have the Thunderstorm and Freeze, which I love. But then Invincibility Shield. Who doesn't love Invincibility Shield? So if I could combine these 2 dragons to make a dragon, I feel like I'd be a much happier person inside. So anyway, that's a long way of saying, Copperhead, totally get if you don't like sorcerers yet, because a lot of sorcerers suck. But when you get to the higher end of the game, sorcerers suck less. Anyway, Mac, if I didn't say welcome back, happy to see you. Are you at work right now? I think you're at work. Are you being naughty? Who else? So, Mac, you said you're at work, and then who else is at work? P-Dog, you're at work too? Naughty, naughty kids. As you guys can easily tell, I don't work in the summer. If you haven't figured out or haven't been paying attention, that's because I'm a teacher. So, Yeah. So I do a lot of work in the summer still. So I go into my classroom and I do a lot of work, and I especially do a lot of lesson prep and planning at home. But when it comes to the full on, getting there at 7 o'clock in the morning and staying till 5, I don't do that in the summer. So I just don't want to. So we have our summer stream schedule until then. One more on Faye. So Faye is an example of a dragon that I actually really enjoy. I love Ice Shock. A rage-free spell is always fantastic. Lightning resist is decent resist. Everyone loves invincibility shield, so Faye does alright. And Faye has the ability to take down farms at a decent rate due to chaos, but I'm just kind of hanging out. Also, Faye is really pretty. Faye looks like a rainbow otter. A rainbow otter with like a mossy something going on here. So, while I'm flying my Maltese, shall we talk about pros and cons of dragons? I'm curious to hear you guys' opinion. So, spring line on my main account, I got Faye and Aster, both to Emerald, and on my alt, I only got Aster to Emerald. What did you guys get? Did you get Sage? Did you get Faye? Did you get Aster? And do you regret your choice? Or are you really happy with your choice? Or are you still like, it's a dragon. It does okay. Not really particular about it. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm curious to see what spring dragon you picked and how you currently feel about said spring dragon. I'm pretty happy with my choices personally. I think I have a good time. I use Aster a lot. Like, a lot. Faye I don't use terribly much just because in wars it's better safe than sorry for me, and I'm much better flyer with hunters. I could do a little bit more damage that way, but oops, wrong spell. That's okay. Lightning resist makes such a difference, I feel. So Max says, I got Aster to Emerald and Abraxas to Emerald. Happy simply due to the fact that I saved about 8,000 sigils due to Sail Branch. Got a lot of good alternative loot along with my Perch Dragon. Hey! That's a great point, Mac. That's an absolutely great point. I completely forget about the bonus dragons most of the time. So you're obviously a really clever individual. So getting those rewards sounds like it was certainly worth it, because you wouldn't have been able to get those higher tier rewards if you wouldn't have gone for the Sail Dragon. So, and Abraxas gives the Perch HP bonus, correct? I'm curious about that. So, but my perches are still pretty low. I always spend my timers on other things other than my perches. Let's do one more dragon in here, and then we're going to switch to my alt and do some stuff there. Because talking about strength of roster doesn't really make as much sense when you're looking at my main. Always wondered how people with multiple accounts, team leaders, diamond players, etc. balance life, work, and war dragons. How I played War Dragons in the first year of play versus how I play it now in the second year of play are very different things for me personally. My team can tell you I'm online pretty constantly, and yeah, I spend a lot of time on War Dragons, but I enjoy it especially. So, well, multiple accounts for me doesn't take extra time necessarily. So when I've finished here with Faye, I need food. So instead of just running my alt on XP bases, I actually only run my alt on XP bases in emergencies, when I'm feeling exceptionally lazy, or when I'm doing flying videos for you guys. Otherwise, my alt only flies on regular bases and I'm doing loot hunts. So loot hunting is how I do my multipliers on my alt. So I'm getting the food I need for my main, and also getting the multipliers done for my alt. When it comes to being a leader itself, what has really helped me is my officers. I now have 5 officers. We just promoted our 5th today. For the longest time I had 4, and when I first started the team I actually only had 2. I trust my officers to the moon and back, and if they say, look, Red, you're wrong, we have to do it this way, I definitely take a step back and I look at it and we have conversations. My officers vote on everything that we do, so if we decide to implement a new rule, if we decide to change minimums drastically for events, things like that, my officers put a vote. And now that I have 5 officers, I actually don't get a say. So maybe I'll go to my officers and propose, like, hey guys, I'd really like to consider changing our event minimum for tug of war to this. What do you think? And if I pull it to a vote, they each get a vote, and I actually don't get one. So they have to win 3-2, and the 3-2 is what passes, or higher, obviously. But trusting my officers makes a big difference, but also ensuring that I put enough work in the front for my team to be self-sustaining. So when we do wars and things, I do think that this may be egotistical of me, Mech. So Mech is actually on my team, so he can correct me. I think that the team may run a little bit more smoothly for wars if I am there, just because I'm a very clear, authoritative person to listen to due to just that leader title under my name. But my team can run wars without me. My team can run wars without officers. My team knows how to set up defenses. My team knows how to set up attacks. They know how to do everything with that. They're just very clever individuals. I'm very thankful to have such a strong and clever team. So it really doesn't take that much time anymore to get things done. Diamond is a different animal, and we don't go there purposefully. Sitting online defending for all those hours a day, I don't think I could do personally. But we are in Sapphire 1, and I think we manage pretty well. And it comes down to trusting and ensuring that every single person on the team can pull their own weight. Because as soon as you're on a team where you're expecting only like 1 or 2 people to back every single war run in order to get things done, etc., it becomes a big drain on those big players. And if you are a leader that's starting a team and you are willing to sacrifice your own time in order for the betterment of your team, more power to you, man. I can't do it. So that's why a lot of times when there's applicants to Rulith, I ensure they're at a certain point with their dragons compared to level, and I ensure that they actually are a certain level now because I need them to be self-sustaining, and we can't afford to have more people that can't pull their own weight. So, long answer to your question, P-Dog, but maybe that helps you kind of get my perspective on things, but it comes down to a lot of trust, intelligence, and careful planning ahead of time. Yeah. Alrighty, let's do Borg. I only have 2 left in him today. So he just got his Garnet Stone. I love Borg so much. He's adorable. He's so much fun to fly. We're going to have a good time. The farm will sometimes screw me though. So I try to take out that farm first. Borg is just so pretty too. I like the stone thing and everything he's got going on. I think it's makes him a really attractive dragon. And that doesn't even count all of his spells, of course, too. His spells are great. Cloak on a hunter, I feel, is a must-have. Without Cloak, it makes it a lot harder to fly. And then Healing Mark is one of the best spells as well, simply because it also has runes for it. So Cloak has runes, Healing Mark has runes, and due to the season line, Thunderbolt also has runes. So having all these runes is just wonderful. Copperhead says, I agree. I feel like Borgian doesn't get enough love. What? Who the heck are you talking to that doesn't give Borg love? We've talked about in my team where there's honestly not really a bad dragon to go for this season. They all have a lot of good things going on for them. And depending on your flight style, depending on your roster needs, I really think that there are a lot of good choices. But Borg, man, he's a hunter. He has runeable spells. Runeable spells are... That's what makes it, you know? I love Borg. Copperhead, you and I can give Borg all the love he needs. He doesn't need anyone but us. So, I love me some Healing Mark. Healing Mark makes a big difference, I think. It makes him stay alive a lot longer. Cloak and Healing Mark take down the downfalls typically of hunters. Somebody's mentioned me. So here's Tony. You can see up here in my leader chat. Hi, Tony. We give Tony a shout out here. So, like I mentioned with leaders who sacrifice the good of their own progression for the good of their team, Tony is one of those leaders for sure. So, if you are looking for a team that really has a really strong leadership and a really leader that's going to stay loyal to their team, Tony is one of those people. He is a wonderful dude. He is a big spender. Obviously, you can tell from his account because he does have merch this season already. Using his 300s. Arya is doing great. My third account is actually on Arya pretty inactively, unfortunately, just because it's a terrible device. But this is a wonderful team. So if you are, I'd say, in about your 50s or so, and you're looking for a platinum team and looking to grow and learn, and you're kind of sick of teams that are really inactive and don't have a lot of chatter, that don't do a lot of wars, that don't do very well, Arya might be a good place for you to look at if they have any spots open, just because of how dedicated Tony is to his team. So can definitely see a good leader when I have one. But as Tony said in our little chat today, he is on his way to the stream, so make sure you give Tony a lot of love when he gets here. I believe his name in chat is Santa Monica, so when you see him, give a big shout out to Tony. I love Tony. He's a sweetheart. So one more run with our lovely Borg. Copper and I will love Borg together. And then we're going to switch to my alt and talk a little bit more about strength of roster and the importance of it. Hi, Borg. Darling. We'll see if anyone wants to come hang out with us. They might. You never know. No. Nice team name, beautiful hotel. Stayed there in February. Really? There's an Aria hotel? Where's that at? You don't have to say a specific, town if you don't want to, but if you want to give us an area or a country, things like that. I didn't know there was an Aria hotel. It's really interesting. I think Tony is really proud of the fact that his team name is just Aria. So I also like the team name. Vegas. Oh, I've never been to Vegas. I was having a conversation with my husband the other day how we were considering going to Vegas next summer when he gets his next degree here coming up. But the downside is he only has like a week off from work and whatnot. So the downside would be that we're going to drive out there, rent a car, drive to Vegas, stop at a few things along the way because I love road trips, but then fly back. And I don't fly very well. Airplanes and red don't typically mix. I get panic attacks at takeoff and landing. It's not a fun time. But Vegas looks like it'd be so much fun. And there's probably like a lot of cool shows going on, you know? One day. I'm noticing I'm going to have to trim up my green screen here. So behind my green screen, which is on a stand that my husband and I made, there is a couple of skylights in my house. So those skylights I can tell are starting to show through. There we go, on that side. So I can trim that up. But we do have all of these plans. We're going to turn one of our offices into a little streaming room so that the green screen is going to be on an actual wall and much better lighting because we can screw it into the ceiling a little bit better. So this be fun. So Zeus, hi, welcome from Greece, our little Greek player here. I love Zeus. Nice to see ya. Hey, Red in chat, just realized you're in real life. Do you remember a player named Lady Cat? Yeah, we had a player named Lady Cat a couple of months ago now, I think, Nick. Any reason you ask? Her and I believe it was Gaza and KL. The three of them were in our team for a while, but then they decided to leave to go hang out with their alts, I think, because they wanted to have their alts together, and their alts were too low of a level to have on roulette. So let's see if I can trim this stuff out. There we go. Maybe if I just do a little bit of finagling. Nope, that'll make it worse. Okay. Well, we'll deal with what we got, right? Zeus says, I remember Cat. So obviously Zeus was also in Rulith with me along with Mech. So I'm just kind of adjusting myself in my little area to try to get rid of my skylight issues. Okay, let's switch devices here. We are going to go over to my alt because everyone loves a little alt time. Uh-oh. Let's go. Sometime I have to figure out what I'm going to do about this. Okay. QuickTime is fighting with me a bit. Sorry. Give me a moment. This is why I'm glad I have a second display now so I can deal with this just a little bit better. Alright, here we go. Bring up my iPad. Hi, iPad. So this is my alt, and I'm going to spend a moment to talk briefly about the strength of rosters. So Mech says, I finally get to compare rosters with you. Yes, Mech. So Mech and I aren't very far apart in level. Minor Nick says, they're just joining teams and asking for resources, and once they got all they needed, they look for another team. Did that with Death during a war. I am so sorry to hear that, Nick. I had no idea. Lady Cat was on Rulith for a couple of months, I think. Lady Cat left first, and then Gaza and KL followed a couple of weeks later. Wow, that's a pretty crappy thing to do, Nick. I'm so sorry that it happened to your team. That's rude. That's exceptionally rude. Man, it's a bummer. Okay. Well, let me collect my hammers. That's all I forage now. It's because our dang war is always having hammer needs, and no, let's be honest, I do not have enough hammers. So let me make sure my main has hammers going. Yep, we're good. Okay. First check-in of the day. Haven't done anything on this account all day since I've woken up. As you can tell, yay, egg tokens. Oh, you'll get to see a little bit more about my team. So, MVP was Barcode. This is Poppy, one of my officers. Look at this. So, a brief shout out to players who are lower level on a team. There's always a way you can pull your weight on your team. And if you feel like you're a lower level on your team and you feel awful and you feel like you can't do much in war, look at Dino 1983 on my team here. Dino technically is the lowest level on my team, but look how many dragons he defeated by defense. Without people like this on the team, there's no way we could succeed. So Dino and Groot are two wonderful, really loyal, long-time Rulithians, and I'm so thankful that people like them are looking out for us. So, huzzah! Well done. We did win our war last night. You can see my alt stuff. My alt did not defend very much, unfortunately, in this last war. So I just wasn't online very much with my alt. Just watching, usually, in the off time. So Zeus says she used to do that in many teams. Really? Zeus is on the bus, so he'll be back in a moment as soon as he gets on. He's, I'm sure, on his way back from work over in Greece. So I'm curious. I did not realize this is a common thing for people to do. That is so incredibly rude. Oh, goodness. Well, Mac, it's time. So my roster is currently small from when I was doing egg tokens last night. And as you can see with those 3 dragons, let's see my egg tokens look at. My egg tokens look pretty easy today. So I'm going to fill out the rest of my roster here. And I start with my hunters. I'm going to scroll down to Sapphire tier. I'm going to throw Snowdrop Aster on there, of course. Riz, I'm going to leave off because I'm not sure. Why not? Zeus says, where am I? You're in Greece. You're a lovely Greek player. Did I say something wrong? You said you were on the bus, coming home from work. It's Rulith and Beta. We are not. We do not have ship shit. But I don't have any positive things to say. No, we're not in Beta. Let's throw these on here. Let's see, we have 1 empty roster set. So we could put... let's see who... Oh, I know who we forgot. We forgot to put Zam on here. Because Zam is still a low level, so I didn't catch him. There you go. Okay. I could put Expert Riz on here, but I'm not going to use it. Zeus said miss their stop. I hope he didn't miss a stop. So this is my roster. We have talked about this in a previous stream. So everything that has that exclamation point, I cannot feed except for, I believe, Who can I feed? Oh, except for House It, because I've been messing around and so I haven't fed House It. So otherwise, these are all capped for my level. What's really exciting for me is these are all capped by den caps, not because of the dragons necessary. So obviously, Nightshade will stop at Sapphire tier. He does not go past Sapphire tier. But these dragons are all capped. My divines here, I have the Emerald Stone here, are capped because I don't have the appropriate castle or the den level on my main island with my castle. I'm just too low a level. So I really enjoy this feeling about being capped by my level versus the dragons I have. I know on my main it was just really miserable when I was capped by needing another dragon in a certain tier versus this one, which is a lot of fun. So Tony, we were just talking about you. So love Santa Monica. Everyone is Tony. Tony, I gave you a little bit of a shout out about Arya and how a wonderfully selfless leader you are and how sweet you are. So let's go do some multipliers here on this account, but we are doing this for the sole purpose of going and hunting for resources. Apparently, no one needs resources. Oh, you guys are getting a flash my officer chat. Sorry, I was just trying to find my main account to send it food. Should have thought a little bit further. How much know we have? Things to note for next time. Alright. Coolio, we're set. I have some unread messages on both of my accounts, but I don't want to read them right now because we're on a stream. Oh dang, sweetest recap. Tony, you're darling. You're absolute darling. So on my alt, I'm looking for anything that is 40.4 KXP. I'm looking for food, and I'm looking for things that I could practice flying on. So let's see if we can find more than that food-wise. So there is more food, but at the lower XPs. Oh, here we go. 44, 107 KXP. Is this person online? Nope. All right, let's go steal their stuff. How's it always gets to go first? I bring my big account with me because the purpose of this is to really grab this. P-Dog, I see that you have a question, but since it is a longer one, I don't think I have the ability to read very fast. So last question. I just got Frostbite last event and he's level 10, still crappy trying to do 2 big XP bases and can't get the hang of them. Pointers. Yeah, sure, of course. We will do that in just a hot sec, darling. And we will talk about him for you. I do enjoy Frost. He's a good time. We gonna die? We gonna die? But thankfully we have borrowed time. Texas, are you mooing? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. We'll use Borg since his multis are gone to get a little bit more XP on him. Because he's not expert. Moo. One thing about Frostbiter is his shield is better than I was anticipating, and remembering to let things like fire or ice turrets hit you just so you can avoid the others. So we'll pop into Frost real quick next. So the Frost I do have is Expert. I don't have Frost on my mini yet. Frost comes next, but we'll get the hang of it here so you can see a little bit more Borg. I have to work out some hotkey displays so I can change, so you guys can just easily go back and forth between my accounts, but I haven't done enough fiddling yet. Alright, pace is down. Let's see if we actually got all that food. That would be really exciting. Texas says, how much do you steal from my mini? Actually, probably not a lot due to the protection code. So if you weren't already aware of the protection code, the higher level someone is compared to the person they're attacking, the less food they can get. So this person attacking my alt back will actually get less food even if I'm showing more. Or less food even if I'm holding more. So we just got quite a bit there. That's exciting. I don't want to go through all of my mail in case I show some private information, Texas. So shoot me another, well, I don't know. We can look. Hold on. I'm going to put you guys on switching devices just so I don't accidentally show some private information in my mail. I'm going to see if I can find your alt or if I deleted it. I'm not sure if I still have that mail from you, from your baby, Texas. Texas, shoot me another mail, because I don't think I still have that. So shoot me another mail, and I'll check see how much I can steal from you, and I'll show you the difference between my two accounts, and whatnot too. Let's go steal some more food. Haha. All right. Oops, and bookmarks. So we're looking for 40k XP, lots of food. Ooh, this looks fun. Yeah, let's go do it. I'm gonna come steal your stuff, man. Going with my second. Divergent core is team. Okay, I will look up your team after this run here, Texas. Sand, all the things. Alright. Lightning towers are gonna knock me off my butt here in a second. Yeah. It's showtime. He knows he's always gonna be on the stream. Doop-a-doop-a-doop, flying with Borg, flying with Borg. I don't know if you guys like or dislike the fact that I have my sound turned off from the game. Like, even just the pew pew and the I could do it myself. I make better sounds than the game does anyway. Pew, 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 pew. That's my Thunderbolt sound. These max level farms suck. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get all the food I could because I didn't destroy the farms, and I don't want to go back and kill them. So if you didn't know, so any food that's left uncollected in farms and mills, you have to destroy the farms and mills in order to collect that or steal it from them. I play with sound off. Yeah, I typically do too, Texas. I actually usually listen to Pandora or something while I play. So, alright, let's go find Texas's mini here. It's on a divergent core. Alright. Let's take a look, and I'll show you with both my accounts how much we would get here. So with my 138 attacking 83, I would get 8k. And let me look up that team on my main. Attack. Yes. Tony, you actually missed our war once we get over at 1k a day for my war one last night. So actually I'm showing the same amount. That's really unusual. So I must just be in the top protection level for your alt. So my main is showing the exact same loot as my alt, which is interesting. Nedtastic, do you play with both the sound and the music on, or do you just do the sound effects? I'm curious. And Tony, darling, I kind of feel bad. Did you guys not know what's going on with tokens? So, oops. So we get 800 tokens a day, and last war we gained... It's not showing on my mini here. Let me switch to my iPhone. Boink. Boop. Both on, but very low. Very cool. I can dig that. Alright. Dang, my storages are basically full. Yeah, Texas. So like I said, there is a code that protects low levels from being hit by high levels. So that's the thing. Mex says, I think they adjusted the amounts during this match, making them restructure. Lots of food being lost and raided during every raid. I think they might have as well. So I think the protection codes aren't as intense as they maybe once were. That could definitely be for sure. So, let's take a looky here. So, looking at this war screen here, for some reason my iTunes is doing weird things. This war screen, so we won a war last night, obviously, by a little bit. So we got 224 egg tokens here. I'm curious, Tony, what are your war wins looking like down there? So when we declared Exalted Dragons, I believe was 3 league ranks below us when we declared war on them last night. So I'm curious what the egg token payouts are looking like in Platinum 2 is where you guys are right now. So let me know. I'm not really sure how the egg token payouts are really working out per league, or if it's just a set, everyone's getting more. So, doop-a-doop. Shall we do some more multis, which means we have to switch devices again. I really got to work on this, make this better. Instead of my switching devices screen, I should have like a joke screen and put up new jokes there every time. That would be so much better. I would enjoy that way more. Alright, but we don't have jokes, so we'll have to live without jokes for today. Let's go steal more people's food. Ooh, look at this. It's under my max, but they're offline, and that is a lot of food. So I'm going to go steal this 126,000 food. Because I think it would be irresponsible of me if I didn't steal all of their food. So that's just my personal opinion, but yeah, not sure if you agree. My light's doing a really weird thing right now behind me, and I don't like what's going on. I don't know what it's doing. Why is my light being funky? I think it's because of the changing light due to my skylights, guys, but you can deal with my funky little green screen shadow for now, I guess. Okay, so we're going to attack this guy. I'm going to take Nightshade because there's no way in hell Nightshade needs any more XP than he already has because, well, he's got several million banked. Tony says, with one war is about 30 to 100 tokens. I can't read the rest because my flight screen is up. 100 is warring top 3 teams and win. 30 is warring number 15 and win. Wow. Yeah, that's a difference. So coming up to the higher leagues apparently really makes war a lot more worthwhile. So get your butts up here. I'm sure it makes sense based on how many egg tokens you guys are getting a day. So it's based on that, I'm fairly certain. Because that makes sense. And sometimes PG makes sense. Sometimes. So I think this is one of those cases where that's really going to make sense if it's tied to the number of daily tokens you guys are getting. Getting a delay here. My iPad is doing some super weird things right now. Like that lag you guys are seeing, that's actually my iPad, not my stream. It's odd. I don't know why my iPad's doing this today. My iPad's about to crash. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Do you feel like this jerking thing? Oh, it's not the stream, guys. That's definitely my iPad. Alright, Texas says we're at the bottom of gold 2, and to attack the number 1 team in the league, we only get 60. Yeah, so it's definitely sounding like it's tied to how many daily tokens you guys are getting, so thus tied to league. Which makes sense, because you guys really wouldn't want to lose 223 tokens from a single war, right? So I get it. So in order to not lose as many, that means you don't get to gain as many either. So pros and cons, unfortunately. So I'm trying to figure out why this really weird green shadow is going down right there. X is on the forums. It says, war breeding token payouts and losses have now been added and multiplied depending on sub-league. The higher the sub-league, the higher the multiplier will be your war earnings. Mac. That means they actually followed my proposal. Shoot. Dopesh says, how do you attack all 3 towers at once with the hunter? You tapping with 3 fingers. Yep. Certainly. So my left hand does the spells, and my right hand is doing the tapping. I tap 1, 2, or 3 fingers depending on tower step. So, yep, just multiple fingers. Nothing exciting. Okay, so we have a lot of food now, and one more run and I'll be at my max transfers, and those transfers haven't quite gone through. So we're going to take a look at my team chat here and see. Oh, Poppy sent me food. That's so kind. We have about 7 minutes. So yeah, my iPad's doing some. Oops, not Apple. This is Poppy. Poppy is a sweetheart. We have so many different people with different languages and nationalities on the team, so it's a lot of fun to teach with them. So Poppy's taught me a lot of different words in Czech, and I can type them, and he started sending me voice messages online, so I'm starting to learn how to say things. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Poppy's a sweet, sweet person. All right, so we are trying to feed Faye. So we're going to do one more run here on my alt to try to get a little bit more food, and then we're going to just have to sit pretty with my alt so we can transfer all of that out. Oh, here's a juicy one here. This one's just screaming for house it. See that single blue mage and that single red? Oof. Yeah, baby. Let's have some fun. Let's see how well baby Howzit can get along. I really should feed Howzit this week, so let's make that a goal. One stream, all we're going to do is hunt food and feed Howzit. How's that sound? Because Howzit needs to stop being neglected, and everyone says that. Do this. I'm going to time shift again. I'm going to sand these things here. Build it up and come back. So the setup I've done here isn't great for soloing, but I have set up this long island for an assist myself to fly against. So I'll show you what that looks like as soon as it gets to the swap screen. Alright, so you can take a look here before I pick a dragon, what the long island looks like. That is great for a follow here. So following, here comes Borg around the corner. Cloak to avoid getting hit by that mage super shot because I miscalculated the number of taps that tower would take. Alright, look at Borg and all of his little flying friends from runes. Aren't they pretty? The other nice thing about having another account in the fight is I could see the map at all times, and I usually do that for wars when my main is following my alt. So let's see here. So Dopish is asking here in chat, what runes did you put on Howzit? Yeah, sure. I'm happy to show you the runes on my How. So the only runes that How can take that make useful or that are useful are ammo runes, hunter ammo runes, which are the rarest runes of the game, wisdom runes, and rage runes. So I will show you real quick what my Howzit looks like because we have to sit pretty anyway to send more food out. So, yay Borg! Victory! Stealing people's food. So the fun thing too is the extra food. So I stole 80k on this account and 27k on this. So that guy lost over 100k food from my hit, which is fun. So my Howzit. How's it? How is it? Ha. Crack me up. Not train. Equip. So here are the runes that I have on my Howzit. So I have my Mythic Rage with the secondary of Cloak, which does nothing. My Legendary Wisdom that has a secondary of Rage. I have a Rare Rage. I have a Mythic Wisdom with a secondary of Rage and a Common Rage. So those are my How runes, all focusing obviously around Rage and Wisdom so I can level them up faster. And, well, Rage is a really big key thing for Howzit here. So let's see how much time we have left between transfers. So there are my transfers up there. Rod sent me some food as well, so I have to make sure I send thank you notes. So yes, definitely mostly Rage. That's what it is. So when we're using Howzit's time shift ability and we're in that state before we rewind, all we can do is tap spells, and so using a lot of sand, it's helpful if my Rage is building up faster. So I think they're talking about how to stock Noctua right now. My team is having that discussion to prepare for wars against Noctua's level 20 and up, because that's what we have and that's what we're prepped for now. So I really love the strategizing, which really leads back to the question of how do leaders balance time between the game and not game, and that is really trusting my team. So while my big is 251, I am not the biggest person on the team. I am not the best flyer on the team, I don't think. I definitely don't have the best dragons on the team, don't have the best base. So it's nice to be able to collaborate with all my teammates, officers, and not to see what their perspectives are and see what their ideas are. And I know for sure that I've texted Mech before, and I'm like, hey, this is what the problem is right now. I'm not sure how to fix it. Do you have any ideas on what we can do better? And he's like, well, why don't you try this? And then we tried it, and it worked really well. And I was like, yeah, it's really exciting. So trust your teammates. You guys can see my like wet hair from my shower. It's still damp. It takes a long time to dry this much hair, for the record. It's a lot of hair. It's a lot of hair. So, yeah, we're just waiting for transfers because I don't want to be out and get more food and not be able to send it away. So a couple of seconds here and it'll pop up on my main and then we can feed Faye. So let us switch over to my iPhone in the meantime so you guys can see the jump in Faye's power. So that'd be fun to see, right? I think so. So switching to the iPhone. There we go. Doop, doop, doop. All right, so you'll see that counter. Yep, I'm starting to get food in. So I'm going to start sending more food here. So I'm going to get some from Rod in a second as well. Let's see. Send more food to my main. Boop. And I will have enough to feed Faye as it is, but I'm sending the rest of this food away because my alt has the higher transfer rate. So let's see how much food we need to actually feed Faye. 1.07 million, so that's not bad. So we have another bit coming in from Poppy here shortly, so let's check on how long that Poppy transfer has to come in. So about 12 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fly without my main backing. So I'm leaving my main on the home screen here, on the main dragon screen, so I can watch for attacks and see if somebody's coming at me. And if somebody is coming at me, then I'm going to make sure I defend, dump, use, whatever I need to do, which means I'm flying purely with my ult. So no more backup, no more 251. I know that's going to clean the base. So this definitely changes our flying style from a lead flying style to a solo flying style. So let's go steal some people's stuff. Oh, I have to switch devices, don't I? You don't guys just don't want to watch my main sitting there and protecting food, do you? I mean, you could. If you want to watch my main for me so I don't lose any food, that'd be helpful. Oh, I crack me up. Did I crack you guys up? Because I really crack me up. There we go. Boop. All right, let's go steal some food. Okay, this might be a little tough. Let's give it a go. So we're going to try to lead with How, and then I have Second and Nightshade for backup if need be. I will invite to see if anyone wants to come hang out with me, but otherwise I'm just hanging out with my main on the regular screen watching for attacks. Ooh. Ooh. I thought I sanded that. No, I was getting hit by that ice the whole time. Why did I do that? I just wasted a How lead. Alright. Well, could have been worse, right? I'm really bummed right now. Oop. Mm-hmm. Alright, let's see if we can finish up here with Nightshade. Just want his food. I'm getting greedy. So we're doing crumble to dust there to help me take down the towers just a little bit faster. Slightly fewer taps. We're going to get 70% at least, but that was some really terrible leading I did with How, and I'm really disappointed with myself right now. But it is what it is, right? Learn from every time we make a mistake flying. Alright, we cleared the base, but I'm still not very pleased with how I flew with that. That was disappointing. I'm sorry. Sorry for the bad flying. Didn't realize I didn't have that ice sanded. Oh yay, we got their wood too. Nobody wants wood outside fortification, so if you're someone that likes to dump wood on your teammates because you think they need it, stop. I'm teasing, kinda. Alright, let's try again. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. This is max XP. That's max XP. Do you know it's the levels that my 138 has to hit for max XP? That's silly, PG. So if you're watching this, PG, this is what needs to be fixed, is the level difference that we need to hit in order to hit max XP. So, Zeus, welcome back. I hope your bus ride was not very eventful, which if that means it's safe, but hi, Zeus. Nice to see you, darling. Alright. Let's see, who are we going to hit? Let's do this one. Let's do Aster. Well, no, because we want to... Well, we can pick up reverse from that red. Alright. Doop. See if anyone wants to come hang out with us. Boop, 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 boop. Pixel colored her hair recently, I saw on Twitter, and I used to say, along with everyone else, that Aster looked like a representation of what Pixel's hair would be if it was a dragon. So, honestly, you get to sleep in there, I didn't understand that much. Zeus, you crack me up. Oof, these lightnings. Hopefully they don't get a super shot. So like I said, if you have groups of lightnings, they only really do a lot of damage if a super shot gets at them. So they're not too much of a worry if the AI has already used a lot of super shots. Which, this one's doing alright. Oh, these farms are going to be a pain. But we got 70%, so it is what it is. All done. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And that food should be landing from Poppy shortly. Let's see. About a minute left, and then that food will land from Poppy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch so we can see Faye's power increase there. Does I actually have enough food? Well, I'll have enough food as soon as this lands for Poppy to feed her. And there we go. Back to this account. Food will be landing in just a second. So we wait. How's it going, guys? Having a good day? Hope the weather's nice where you are. The weather's pretty good here. It's a little muggy, a little warm. And like I said, I'm getting a little bit of a cold. I feel this scratchy bit in the back of my throat. I'm not sure if it's from all the talking I've been doing recently or just a flat out good old summer cold. I want that food. I don't think it landed yet. Getting some mails here. There it is from Poppy. So 1.2 there. So let's feed Faye. So we can see the power increase here. So the attack is going up 131k and health is going up 1.9k. And our total attack power is going up 1.3 million. Is that, am I doing my decimal counting correctly? Or was that 13 million? 13 million? Let's see. What's her attack power right now? Right now she's at 61. Let's see what she's at. All right. Oh, yes. I went up quite a bit there. Oh. Look at Faye. Look at that little beastie beast there. 75 million attack power unboosted. Mac, I don't know how you can count all of those places right away. That's insane. Okay, we need to stop doing this, computer. Computer's doing some cray-cray things, yo. It decides that iTunes wants to be up all the time. Alright. He is such a cute otter. You can't cloak a blue mage tower shot if you kill the tower while the shot is flying right. If you're lucky, and if you have really good timing, sometimes you can dopesh. So if you attack the tower and right about as the tower's about to die, it fires the shot, and then you kill it. If you are really fast, and depending how far away the tower is, sometimes you can avoid it by cloaking. But it's not very common, and I don't do it. I don't manage it very often. I typically like to reverse those instead. So I love you all. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break. I'm going to grab another drink of water. I'm going to blow my nose and just kind of stretch my legs for a second. So I will be back in about 5 minutes, okay? See you soon. Hey guys! I came back from the break and I did something that I didn't think I was going to do, but I've really poor self control, so I decided to do it anyway. And that would be, instead of getting water, I got an afternoon beer. So it's 2:50 in the afternoon for me, but you know what? We're gonna have an afternoon beer today. So it feels better in my throat, to be completely honest, and I'm not just saying that because I wanted a day beer more than I wanted water, but I had recently stopped drinking beer for a couple of weeks and it was killing me. So now I'm back to the point where I can enjoy this lovely beverage. So, and I checked Twitch's TOS because I was really like, crap, am I allowed to drink beer? I can, as long as I don't drink to excess. So you guys all hear me stutter all the time anyway. It has nothing to do with the single beer that I'm drinking. So it makes a world a better place. I don't know if this is local or not. I think it is, because that's what I was always told growing up. But anyway, this is Leinenkrugel's. If you guys like Leinie's, it's berry Weiss. It doesn't even taste like beer. I like this and Summer Shandy from Leinie. They're my summer beers. It's just delicious. It's happy in a bottle. That's what this is. I don't condone underage drinking, by the way. I am appropriately over 21, if you weren't already sure. So, my alt is up now. So we fed Faye. So let's go harass some people. So now what our goal is going to be is we're going to hunt some extra food and check our team chat and check our research chat and see if anyone else needs extra food to see if we can help the team while we do our multis. So my little philosophy personally is whenever the team helps me, I try to help back twofold. So I try to help back way more than I get from the team because it's fun. Texas, are you calling my Liney nasty? Why are you calling this nasty? It's absolutely delicious. It's so good. It is so good. What would you be drinking instead, Texas? Here we go. I wish Zach had Cloak. That would be fun. Try Belgian beer. I've tried a lot of beers, and for me it depends on like what the situation is and all of that whatnot for what I want to drink for the day. So early afternoon, it has to be a lighter beer or fruity beer. Personally, I think that's just the way to go. I have been getting more into stouts for dinner time beers. I will tell you, IPAs are not my thing. I don't like them. I've never really liked them, and I would be happy if I never had to drink them again. So that's my IPA thing. Well, you can like IPAs, Texas. See, Texas, it works out perfectly for the two of us. So you drink the IPAs, and I'll drink the other stuff. And it works out perfectly. So this is now Faye flying on the screen, 1 level from expert. Alright. Let's check what's coming up next. Pretty low level towers here, so not a problem. Chaos to take down the farms. There we go. And across the finish line. Hair is so like wet and partially sticky. Texas, is it safe to assume that you're actually from Texas? Or are you just a rebel from Texas that was once from Texas, but now you're somewhere else? You do like do's? Do. Like that kind of do? Alright, so I'm actually going to cancel this because I'm seeing that my last shipment came in. So let's check resource chat here. So he asked for food a couple hours ago. Let's see if anyone's in here. So we have 600 on my alt, or on my main, and 200 here. So let's offer about 700 food. So I'll post in research tab there. So you like Sekhem. I'm still not sure about him. So I love Sekhem. So I think he's very useful because of sand, and he makes a very useful lead until you get house it. So I think he's a lot of fun. Oh, Dos Equis, that one? No. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Is it a Mexican beer, Texas? Right? Yes? Right, like that. I can see the bottle in my brain, and the X's are red. Is that I think it's a Mexican beer. At least I've only seen it at, like, the Mexican restaurants up here. So I think I like Sekhem. Let's see if there's anyone we can defend. Let's defend Zeus. Ah, Zeus, we're gonna defend you. So let's see. This guy does not have lightning resist. Let's take all of his stuff. Goodbye, summon warrior. Alright, with my other account, super shot that. Ah. Zeus, I'm trying to protect you. I like defending. Defending's one of my favorites. So I've heard about Texas, and I think I've had it before, that beer, but I can't recall the last time I've had it. So here I need to make sure I'm using all my super shots except for one on each. There we go. That Mage Towers, this guy's probably going to take Zeus down. I feel bad. Ugh, Scar. Take your spell flex and go away, please. Ugh, we're trying for Zeusy Poo. Alright. Let's take his rage. Okay, people who just spam summon warrior, you need to stop. Because it's not necessarily the best spell unless you just need to avoid damage for a second, or unless you're cleaning up and all the mages are gone. Alrighty. Must defend Zeus. Well, we saved 2 of his farms. Have you tried Shiner Strawberry Blend? I have not. Is that local in your area, or do you think that's spread nationally? I could look for it, for sure. What were ones that we tried this week? My husband tried a hop one. It was like Hoptastic or something like that. I didn't like it. But then... My mother is calling me. I tried Cakewalk last week. It's alright. It's like considered a vanilla cream ale, but compared to what I was expecting, like Not Your Father's vanilla cream ale is kind of like what I was like expecting, and I was like, it's gonna be too sweet. And I tried it, and it was actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. Is afternoon beer talk our new conversation on Tuesdays? Okay. Let's see if anybody decided they wanted our food. Oop, Groot said he needs food. He didn't post in research chat, so we'll tell him naughty. Ha! Look at Gangster's joke coming up here. So Gangster said, so Zeus said sorry, sent wood instead. Groot says cheers, thank you. Gangster said Groot is wood. Ha! Sorry, I think that's really funny. It's a Texas beer, but I found Shiner in other states. I'll take a look for it, and I'll see if it's nearby. So I'm in the Midwest, so sometimes those things don't reach me, but I will keep an eye out for it. I always like to try new things, so be exciting to try. Alright, so we go steal more people's things. If there's any dragons or any questions you guys want to see, or see why I fly certain dragons the way I fly them, and if it's a tier that I don't have on my roster anymore, shout out between one of my accounts. I'm sure I have the dragon that you guys might have a question about, and I'm happy to talk about it, show you guys the dragon, my personal strategy for flying it, and what the downfalls are or the advantages are to flying that dragon on your roster. So let's talk about having a roster that's strong versus just relying on a handful of dragons. So at minimum, you need 3 strong dragons on your roster, just flat out. You need 3 really strong dragons, and if 2 of those are divines, you know what? More power to you, I guess. But you need to have 3 strong dragons. That way, if you're looking at a base and they shoot down your first dragon, you have a really strong backup, not just a second dragon that you're getting to breedable and then dumping. You need to be able to hold your own in that sense. So, really make sure that you have a strong roster rather than just that 1 or 2 dragons. So a lot of times now with these seasons, a lot of cheap breeding paths are coming out, including one of my own. Please don't go for cheap. Please make sure your roster is strong enough to stand as it is. And if you're worried about cost too much, just enjoy the game. And it's more fun to enjoy the game when you do have a strong roster. So, hey, Jared, nice to see you. We're just talking about the strengths or the pros of having a strong roster. So I also love Tengu. Mine is currently at Sapphire until I level up. So I do have a Mythic Sapphire right now, and I'll get my first Legendary Garnet next event, depending how many tokens I can farm. Right now, it doesn't look too good for next event, me getting Frost at my current rate. But I also like Tengu. You know what? Let's play Tengu, Jared, and see what happens. Just for you. I'm going to bring my main as backup, because the advantages. Alright, so we have no cannon, so I'm not worried about it popping my Northern Lights. These are low levels up front here. I am going to be a little worried about those back mages, so I'm going to leave that center lightning to slow me down. One got me. It's the downfall of sorcerers, for sure. I feel like designs make it where you should just go through the breeding tiers as fast as possible. They're just so good. Yes and no, P-Dog. So things that you have to really look out for are the facts that if you want to just rush through the breeding tiers as fast as you can, you need to make sure that you have like 6 divines that can hold their own. So 6 divines that you have at max tier. Personally, I don't find that to be fun because I don't even think the divines are always the best. Sometimes people make mistakes. You're choosing the divine that isn't the best. Other situations like that. Dang it. But there are pros and cons, and I really think it depends what type of player you are. So for my ult here, I am staying on the strongest path possible because I want to be kind of a surprise attacker in wars where people look at my level and go, oh, you know, I'm not worried that person's attacking a 250 in war. You know, it's just a decoy, or don't worry about this. But if I can get my house at high enough level and once it has Frost, it'll make a big difference there. So having a powerful roster at a low level is awesome. Also, if you are just relying on your divines, you don't have the ability to really mess with different type of setup of bases. So depending on the setup of a really hard base changes which dragon I'm going to want to lead with, really. So Frost posted a list here. Frost says, how's it 1, Frost 2, Nightshade 3, Sec 4, and then if Gorgonis, Kin, Eben, Kelvin, Abra, and Zamrock, and Ryu. Hey, you can't forget Ryu there. So How's It and Frost obviously are wonderful. Nightshade, once you start getting pretty heavily into Garnet, Nightshade loses his luster. Fortunately and unfortunately, because he is such an overpowered dragon. I love Sec. I never really liked Gorgonis simply because I got him later. My Kin is still a baby. I didn't hatch Eben. Wasn't impressed with him, but Kelvin is great just for invert alone. Abraxas is a perch dragon, in my own personal opinion, but I love Zamrock. I think Zamrock could really do some damage. So what I love about Texas's roster that he posted there is he has the ability to really look at more base styles and pick different dragons. So maybe Hazard will be a good lead on one, or maybe Sekhem would be a better lead because it has a lot of fire turrets, and so Sekhem can really take the damage from those fire turrets with that 70% resist while he's sanding things. So it really depends on what the base needs for lead-wise. Both House and Second have sand, great leads, different benefits to each of them. And then like with Kanara is a great follow-up dragon, but if you take all of her rage away, she drops pretty quickly. So it's it really comes down to, for me, what the base is. And so you need to know what dragons would be best for the base. So let's see if we can find another base, and we'll talk through which dragon I would pick if I was flying solo, if I was leaning for war, etc. So let's do, here we go. So this base is 99 levels above me, so just about 100 levels above me. And looking at it now, let's point out some weaknesses and some strengths of the base. I see only 2 mage towers on the Long Island, so that means a dragon that has a lot of, attack power in its spells would be really great. It has no red mage on the first long, which means freeze would be a wonderful thing here, or sand, and we could just get through because we're likely not to get hit by that super shot, or invert to avoid that super shot. In this case, I would actually say House It's a wonderful lead here because we can do Crumble to Dust on that first island to make it a little bit easier to take down. I don't know if my level 1's going to be able to do that much with it. And then for the second one, we can sand things, slow ourselves down, and hopefully rewind before that blue hits us. Yeah, let's give this a go. I think this is a House It base versus, let's say I led on this with Nightshade. I could do the same thing with Nightshade and do Crumble to Dust on the first island, take down the blue cloak, and then I could do Invert, and it has those lightning towers, so that would be fine too, because he has the lightning resist, so I'd say Nightshade would even probably be a stronger lead just due to his attack power and the ability to take down that blue before it gets hit, and also invert that blue. So that would be a much better choice because then we know that we're not going to get hit by that blue mage and we can cloak so the red doesn't hit us. So if we're leaning for war, Nightshade would actually be a better choice. Let's see if we did Scorchel here. Scorchel would be a poor choice because Scorchel relies so heavily on blue, and that first island has that single blue mage, and I think it'd be too difficult to take down. So I think Nightshade is the superior lead here, so let's give it a go. Let's see how good of a war lead that we can give. So a war lead, you want to make sure you're poking as many holes in the base. It may not be a solo run, but you want to poke holes and just leave gaps in the base. So yeah, it's preloading Crumble to Dust so I can build up a little bit more rage. Tap. Take that entire island out. I know I have that red coming up, so I have my finger hovering over cloak. So these lightnings aren't going to do as much damage to me. On the next island coming up, I know there is no blue, so I'm going to cloak until I'm just over the front bit here. Ah! Did not cloak correctly, or I got hit while cloaked. Apparently I wasn't watching that close. Okay, then let's say my lead has A and A as its strongest dragon. So let's fly in with A and A. I love Aquilius Nostros. Again, fabulous drag. Popped my shield though. Coming around the corner, we have those cannons again, so I'm afraid it's going to pop my shield. So that means I'm going to use Southern Cross. I do have the Rage version of Southern Cross up here because I want the Rage back, and I don't want it to pop my shield again like it just did. So I have a lot more Rage. Jared, if you're still watching, I would definitely point out that sometimes Southern Cross is glitched. I have reported that before, but sometimes it doesn't give the Rage or anything back. So let's see here. I'm going to switch to health. And we're through. So that was how I'd lead there. So P-Dog said, I think Frost gives me trouble because I'm used to House It. Crumble and Crumble brings him out of cloak. Oh yeah, for sure. Tony points, yes, Cloak Gitch live. So Jared, if you didn't catch that, definitely rewind a little bit. So I was cloaked, but a projectile hit me anyway. So that's one thing that has kind of been a little bit frustrating, and it's only every so often, and you kind of have to cloak at just the wrong time. So P-Dog, let's do a little bit with Frost. So I'm going to switch devices here and bring us over to my main so I can fly Frost for you because my alt does not have Frost quite yet. So let's bring that up. Once it loads, there we go. Okay, so for the people who aren't particularly familiar with Frost, here we go. So we have Crystalline Shield, which blocks a certain number of projectiles and reduces the incoming damage from elemental towers like ice turrets and the super shot from fire, etc. Has Cloak, Crumble to Dust, and ice turret resist. So P-Dog is saying one of the struggles for him is he's used to flying House It, and House It can use Crumble to Dust while in the time shift ability, and it doesn't bring him out, whereas using that for Frost really brings him out. So let's completely separate these two different flying style, and let's fly Frost on a base here and see how it goes. Tony says, do you want to show how Kin dies in your base? Yeah, Tony, let's do that next. Let me fly this first, and then come hit me, darling. Alright, so this is an Expert Frost. Let's get up here a bit. I'm going to try to find one that doesn't have a ton of... I don't want a super easy base. Oh, my alt just got hit. Lost a little bit of food. Not too much. Send the rest to Groot, our teammate. Let's find another set of bases, because Frost can't quite take these 300s to the point where I feel like it'd be accurate showing his abilities. Let's do this one. So one thing that is my downfall of flying Frostbiter is because Whale is so fresh in my memory from my alt in the 90s, sometimes I forget seeing the skin of Frostbiter that he doesn't have lightning resist like I'm used to memorizing Whale with. So that's one thing I struggle with here. The other thing that I do with Frost, though, is I let myself get hit by ice turrets constantly. So ice turrets are going to be the very, very, very last thing that I'm going to take down. So let's give this one a go. I want to avoid getting hit by those mages. We'll see if we can do this best. I am going to bring my alt just so I can memorize the base, because I have that advantage. Being able to see the base as I fly is really neat. It's kind of like having a mini map, like they have on all those like FPS games. Ah, no! No! There's a full app crash, guys. Full app crash. Sorry. If I could control the app crash, I would control the app crash. It only happens about once every hour or two, though. Only. Back with the day. In the old school days of playing Dragons, when I was on my iPhone 5 2 years ago, I was crashing 20 times an hour, easily. So, once every hour or two is better, I guess. Oh, you've seen my gamer ID? Or my Game Center ID? Shall we try that again? Alright, let's find another base that we can do. Let's try this one. So for this one, we have this ice turret up front, so we're going to use this to slow ourselves down. So I'm going to let the ice turret just continue to hit me until it's closer to off screen. I do love me some Frostbiter. Okay, hopefully we don't crash this time. Invisible dragon. You guys see my invisible... Oh, there he is. Okay, looking ahead on the map, we just have a perch coming up. And we do have a defender. So I know that defender's going to activate the storm at the start of the island there. So I'm going to take down that storm first. And then see how much of that we can avoid taking. Yep, storm's activated first. I'm going to ignore the mage towers. Take down things that are hurting me the most. That flak's going to hurt. I have to leave that ice behind there. Ah! The defender man, making sure that the exact right combination of that front island went off. So around the corner we have a fire turret and we have farms. So I'm going to hope that that fire turret doesn't have a super shot activated. Thankfully, so we can avoid getting damaged by that. Crumble to just help me take down these max level farms that are healing like crazy. Jared, here's another thing if you weren't already aware of. Once the defender leaves the room, the AI gets more super shots back. So if you didn't know that, now you know. So if a defender is defending, uses all their super shots and leaves, the defender gets all of their super shots, or the base gets all the super shots back. So hopefully there's a little bit of Frost. I'm going to follow up here, use SecHem. So I'm not sure if I finished that mission or not. Probably not my best flying style. I could have avoided a little bit more damage if I would have been a little bit more clever with the defender there, but take down the towers that hurt. The mages are going to hit you if there's a defender anyway, so there's not really much you can do. Taking down the mages faster won't help you. So just do what you can. Like I said, lightnings are only super damaging if they are using their super shots, and unfortunately I did die in that point, but we just have slivers left, so we might hit the 99 point. We are at 98%, so 4 flames in this case, unfortunately, but okay, lead. P-Dog, does that answer your questions a little bit more? Kinda. I know that wasn't a great flight on my part for Frostbiter, but letting the ice turrets hit you is one of the best things you can do for Frost. Versus how's it? Anything hits him is going to do a lot of damage. Let the ices hit you to slow you down. So I think that's exceptionally helpful when flying Frost, or flying any dragon that has a powerful resist as its resist, or a powerful tower as its resist, like ice or fire, or mercs with flak, cannon, archer, things like that, lightning. A ballista resist is useless. Storm resist is useless. So you got to take down the storms just because of their shield, not because of their damage. And if you find a high level tower or high level base with ballista, send it to me because we'll add it up. I think I'm at like 6 over 200 that actually have high level ballistas out. So Tony, come at me, bro. Hit me with that kin. So I want to talk and do a brief switch, or a quick shift, I guess, to talk about bases versus dragons rather than dragons versus bases. So on my base, we've talked about before, I have my Rage Drain Island here. And my Rage Drain Island, the goal is to take all of the rage so they can't cast any spells when they get to my long island. This typically only works if you don't have a perch. If you have a perch, they'll leave it and let the perch hit them unless it's super high level. So, yeah, P-Dog, it wasn't my best flying. I know it wasn't my best flying, but who's in the incubator? Just Renard. Nothing special. I was hoping for a little bit more backbreeds with the new Obsidian that was released, but unfortunately, if you are following the A&A path, you must fully breed A&A and pay full cost for one other Garnet Mythic. So I backbred Renard so that way I could get Gloomclaw next event and follow up with Nier. Alright, Tony's coming at me. Tony, again, is a leader of a Platinum 2 team named Arya. He's a really sweet guy, good friend. We have a lot of fun together, and he hates my Rage Drain Island. So I am going to double defend Tony just because I love him that much and show you how useful this island is against people. So let's defend myself. Again, I have some research done, so I do have extra super shots coming in. So I'm using my ult. I'm going to super shot him. Take his rage because we don't like it when Tony has rage. Set up my long here. And what I'm doing is just, I took down my storm. But seeing the usefulness of having the flak and the ice together, the flak and the storm. So even if he takes down my storm, I can still super shot the ice to save it. So I think that was an expert Canaris, and that's a level 34. Going into my tiny base, and I'm only level 251, I believe. So let's check the defense room. Oh! Somebody doesn't like that I hit them. We're going to take all this Algor's rage. Goal is to keep this flak firing here, so. So there we go. That's an Algor that currently has 2% on my base. So we're doing all right so far. Here comes that Kanara. Mech is also defending me, so hi Mech. Thanks, boo. And again, that flak. So every person who says the flak must be in the front, I challenge you this. Why does my flak work if it has to be in the front? So, yeah. And now he's going to try to thunderstorm my base. Let's make sure he never has the rage to do that. Getting my ice to protect that. So let's see what levels those were. So that was an Algor, a Canaris, and a Sage flying against my base with a total of 22%. Let's check the defense report. So you can see Tony hit me there with his Expert Can, 34 damage. And that player from Brutal Exodus hit me with a level 48 Algor, which means he has 2 garnets and 1 emerald, I believe. I think you need a second emerald to expert him. A 46 Canaris and a 46 Sage. Those were dropped at 22% with triple defenders just because of that front placement. So he didn't even get to the back of my island. So that shows you how much the Rage Drain Island makes a difference, because they can't fly at your island and start spamming all these great spells right away. If Algor would have had Rage, even just for a split second flying on my long, he could have cast his white spell and definitely done some more damage there. So thank you, Mac, for defending me on a live stream to kind of show off my base a little bit more. So this is my base. I love it. One of the advantages is it really is set up for defenders. So I'm online all the time. As you can tell, because I have a 7-day stream schedule. That's nuts. So I'm online constantly, which means defending my base is really fun for me, but also really easy because it's set up for me to defend myself. So I know that somebody's going to go in, get those mage super shots off. I'm going to go in, get that flak storm and ice going, and then extra super touch always go to the mage. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy my base setup, and I think it does pretty magical things. And you guys can agree or disagree, but considering what we just shot down, I'm pretty impressed. Not saying my base is invincible by any means. The other thing to note is this island over here is all level 45s, except for my Storm, my Flak, and my Ice are 47s. So I'm not a max level base. I don't have 50s. I don't have 48s, 49s. And then all of these towers are very, you can even just tell from the artwork that 2 of those mage towers are super low level. 20 bucks says he brought back up this time. Let's see. Nope. Did bring A&A though. Alright, so let's prep for this, guys. Don't think this guy is happy that I hit him. I'm going to go with not so happy. What do you think? Not so happy that I hit him? Thanks, Zeus, for defending me. This might be a situation where it's going to be, well, I'm going to hit you back until I get all the food that you took from me. I don't even remember what we took from this guy, but he doesn't seem happy, that's for sure. So we'll just keep defending like we do. He did a little bit worse that time. Sorry, I'm sorry, but this is what happens, man. You know? So 2%, so it's a 34 A&A and his 48 Algor again. I'm going to send away this food to make it a little bit less tempting. I'm going to send a little bit more to Groot here. So I just have a little bit less food, and people take my wood. I usually don't care too much. Zeus is obviously a better defender. Not true. Not necessarily true, Mech. You know, he led with an A&A. He led with the Sorcerer. So Anna asked, am I here? Doing a live stream. So hang out with my red. So Tony says, LOL red, Mage Drain Island works better than 5 level 50 towers. I agree! If dragons don't have their spells, well, that's what they are. Dan says the salt is real. No joke. I bet you again, Dan, he's going to be back. He's a little salty. This happens a lot, so even though my main is a backup and not the lead, they know better and they hit my ult instead. So this happens a lot, and it's usually this funny, actually. Zeus is trying to be good for live streaming. Zeus is trying to show off. All my teammates show off. You silly, silly kids. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Alright, so we're going to switch gears again real quick, and we are going to talk about leadership when it comes to officers, leaders, and providing information for your team. So all of you have known already, I have my team website for you, and so you can see all that information there. So if you have a line group or anything like that, create notes, create line groups, and things like that, and share information for your team. Our line groups consist of a lounge, which is just chatter. We typically send pictures of our pets because our pets are adorable. We have a Dragon's Chat just for game, and then we have announcements, so people out of game can see when we're going to do war attacks, when a war is going to be starting, things like that. Tony has a question. If you get hit by 4 Mage Super Such, will the Rage freeze time stack? No, it does not. So it's still a single Rage freeze time. So sometimes I just hit with 4 for good measure, just in case they can cloak or invert 2 of them. But it depends. Sometimes I just think it's funny. So if I'm defending myself, I start with about 10 super shots, so it makes sense. So if you do have a line group, like I said, for your team, use it. Chatting with your team. A chatty team is a happy team, and a happy team is a successful team. The other option is, if you don't want to create a website right away, you can take a look at in-game wikis here. So in-game wikis you can find by going to your team meeting hall. Oop, I keep clicking the builder's hut with my fat fingers. Manage team, and it's the third tab that has the W here. So while this loads, Copperhead says no beam jumps in your line chats. Meme jumps. No! Meme chats, put them in, or memes, you can put them in our lounge chat. So lounge is non-game, non-serious. It's just us hanging out and having fun. So we definitely love that all the time. But announcements has no chat whatsoever when we remember which chat we're in, and our Dragon's Chat is all about the game. So here you can see my in-game wiki here. I just changed the password for the website, so if you want to try that password, it's not going to work for you very well, but I change the password every couple of weeks, just so it's our personal information. Our sub pages here, this is my super old wiki. So my super old wiki, I created this wiki when I was level 50. So this is super old, but I try to keep it relevant and make some updates, but most of the time I can't. So you can see the basics. We have our team rules in here, and then I have a couple of basic guides to War Dragons. If you have a beginner team, or you have a lot of beginners, you're not sure what things do, let me know, and I'm happy to share these pages with you. I have them on Google Docs, and I can just share them with you. So this talks about what the difference of dragon types are, and I can click on that one if my fat fingers will select that page. Pancakes, not waffles. No, not waffles. So it talks about how the fact that there are just 3 types of dragons. I have pictures just to show what they do and to point out some different things. And for you see the swipe in there. So make sure you have some information, and don't make the assumption that your team knows everything. We have a lot of situations still in Rulith where whoa, really? That's a thing? Yeah, that's a thing. Whoa. So have a wiki if you don't want to have a website. The wiki is pretty difficult to manage. It is really not user friendly, but it's helpful just to type things in, so you can put your team rules and have people go here. Other useful things would be offensive strategies, dragon strategies. Back in the day, we had stats and opinions on dragons before Amoeba existed, events, general guides, and then how to access us online. So if you guys need wiki stuff, please ask. I'm happy to help and do as much as I can. So that's what's going on right now. So we're just approaching our second hour coming up here soon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another quick break. I need to grab my second beer to finish out our stream here. And then after I grab my second beer, we will continue. So we do have just a typically I'd end the stream right now. I was planning out a 2-hour stream, but I want to do a few more multis, and if you guys want to hang out with me while I do my multis, you're welcome to. So we're going to do about another half hour to an hour of streaming here, which is a little bit longer than normal, but Red needs another beer to do that, so I'll be back soon. You guys are funny. I like reading chat when I leave and just pop back on. So, no, Zeus, I'm not going to get drunk. Crusaders Alike commercial. Is that an app? I have no idea what that is. but tell me with who am I speaking? Oh, Zeus, this is Tony. Tony is the leader of Arya. He is a platinum level leader. He's just a sweet guy. So we like Tony. He's not on our team or anything. We like Tony. He's nice. Everyone likes Tony. There are enough people farming me, so I wouldn't mind my in-game name here. Oh, Tony, why are there people farming you? I feel bad. I bet you start getting red. What? Like red as in me? Or red as in turning the color red? Like me? Like red? Maybe. I am exceptionally pale, so that helps. I did have a super big lunch before we started stream, so that way I wouldn't be snacking during stream, because I'm definitely a snacker. So, hey coach, nice to see you. Alright, so let's get started here. We have done most of my multis on my big account here. We're just going to ignore Kerbos because nobody likes Kerbos. P-Dog! I thought you were leaving me. I'm glad you're still here. Glad work didn't steal you. We're way better than work. Let's be completely honest. This is so much fun. False work alarm is the worst heart attack. Did somebody like pop in to your cubicle or office or wherever you are and like, why? What are you watching? Like, what's going on? Please say that happened, because I'm not gonna lie, that would be kind of funny. Yeah. Oh, you guys crack me up. Alright, is there any particular dragon you guys want to see in my main? I have quite a few, or do you want me to switch to my alt and keep doing my XP runs on my alt? Let me know if there's something you want to see. Tony says, I stored all my towers one time when they were farming me. I do it too. Oh, I know why they farm you, Tony, because your little teammates always send resources to you. So this is I small heart attacks every morning. P-Dog said just an email, but that happens and it's usually during war backup. Ooh. I was mean to farmers by storing the towers. Takes away all the bragging rights for flying skills. Tony, you should have put the flying skills with a Z. I see those things and hear about those things in line chat all the time with people bragging about their flying skills and everything. I'm like, like, okay, like I'm glad you're proud and I'm glad that you're doing something well, but I don't really care. Like, I don't care if you can solo me. I don't care if you can solo other people. I don't care how strong your dragon is. It's what you do in your game is about you, and what I do in my game has nothing to do with you, and I'm not going to put myself down just because I don't have the best things in the game and just because I'm not the best flyer in the game. So I prefer to have a little bit more self-sustained, confidence here, and that's what's fun. Yeah, so if you guys have farmers, that sucks. Ask for help. What I do when I get farmed or if a teammate gets farmed is I'm exceptionally nice, like sickly sweet, super kind, like I hope you're having a wonderful day. And the reason is it confuses the hell out of them. So if you're being farmed, just let them get confused. Let them be like, what? Why is she being so nice? Like, why is she saying all these nice things? Works way better. Oh, the attacker quit the battle. That's boring. Tony, they could solo Red Mage Drain Island, then die. Sorry, that's funnier than it should have been. Alright, so no one's called anything on my main, so I'm going to switch back to my alt. I love my little alt, because it's going to be a mini badass when it grows up. And that's everything a girl wants in an alt. I think League chat right now is having a little bit of a circle jerk, and they're all just, look at my strong dragon. Look at this. I don't care. Like, sometimes I want to see like brand new dragons, but even then I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. It's not like, oh, that dragon's so cool. I need that dragon. Will you please fly that dragon against me? It's usually, yeah, like, cool. Alright, let's do some more multis here, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a little afternoon slap happy with my whole beer. Again, looking for 40.4k as my max XP. We'll find a base. Let's hit it. Alright, let's see who in chat can point out the very biggest problem that this base has. So please, please, please look at this base. Hopefully it won't take you too long. This base has some severe issues with it, according to my own personal philosophies. See if you can find why this base has some trouble spots. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes to see if you can point out. I count 3. Go. So, Tony says, to be honest, I wanted a refund for Canaris the first time. Red had me try the Mage Drain Island. I did runs all night. Like I said, Tony, Canaris is a great cleanup dragon. So if somebody comes in first and just gets rid of that Mage Drain Island, or the Rage Drain Island with the mages, then clears out like 1 or 2 more mages, Canaris are going to do great. Okay, so Sisteel's got the first one. There is no storm on the Long Island. Ugh, and there's no storm protecting the flag. So no storm covers a lot of things. So there's only one low-level storm in the back. Okay, second one, Tony's got it. Totem. What is the third problem with this base? I'm using my teacher voice. So we have the totems in front versus in back. So as soon as I destroy it, its usefulness is gone. There's no storm on the flak, and there's no storm on the long. Needs 1 mage. It's okay, depending on the base, but there's one thing. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the tower levels. See if you guys can find it. Has to do with the tower levels. Tower levels and setup. Tony has no Mage Drain Island. Yeah, has no Rage Drain Island, that is for sure. Hey, thanks for following, darling. Not even leveling, Nedtastic. Take a look at the whole base. Take a look at the whole base. Starts easy and gets harder towers. Yes, mech. So this can kind of work if you have a really long base and you're just trying to trick your opponents. But I'm going to show you why I don't think this is the best setup. So take a look at this and see what you think and see if you agree with my setup here. I'm going to fly this with level 1 How with a lightning resist. It's just got a few lightnings, and I want to see if I can get all the way through here. So it's exactly what Mech said. It's incredibly easy to leave a tower behind for my follow. So I am going to lead this with House It with lightning resist, and I'm going to lead this as if I am flying in war. So again, flying in war, I'm going to poke holes in the base. I'm not worried about soloing it. Now I want to make this as easy as possible for my lead to follow me. So again, level 1. What level is this base? 206? This base has a solid like 60 levels on me, so I'll leave the totem. No, I'm not going to leave the totem. I could. It's not the same totem for... Yeah, why not? Let's leave the totem. Hi, Zeus. Look at that pretty... I do love the art of the totems, by the way. I think it's lovely art. We're getting a lag again in the stream. Was it doing this earlier? Is my computer just getting overwhelmed? Because that's entirely possible. Alright, I didn't rewind fast enough. Oh, this lag is bad. I'm so sorry, guys. This time it's not my iPad, it's the stream itself. I'll try to see if I can do something about that in a second. Zeus. Zeus is saying hello to the world. Alright, let's pull the way back. Okay, and here is the lead that I have left behind. So let's take a look. So again, this is a level 1. Let's take a look at what I've left behind. So I've left behind 2 low levels here to build up rage, cleared it out, sanded everything, farms, and that. So I'm going to come in with Desi, unboosted. It's my expert Desi. I am going to tap and cloak, so you can kind of see him a little off screen. Tap again. Fly through. I love Desi, my hummingbird. Zeus is getting famous. I love Zeus. Zeus is a chef, everyone. I have freeze. I love freeze. So the red is down, which allows me to freeze the whole island. So remember, we just have those higher levels in back, which I believe are sanded. You can use earthquake on the farm so they can't self-heal. They did it anyway. A little bit of havoc, and then earthquake to finish the rest. So left a really easy lead because the totems up front, low-level towers. I could leave some behind to build up rage, do whatever I want. So, yay! You guys are so funny. I'm having fun with this. All right, let's see if I can figure out why my computer is doing this. We're a bit with the... It's doing like a really weird thing. Can't figure it out. Well, let's see. Okay, it's iTunes again. I really just need to get this crap off my computer. It keeps restarting itself, and it's being odd. I think that might have something to do with that, because my computer can't handle that much. Okay. Shall we go supply some more? Alright. Let's find a higher level than the 200s. Let's hit the mids. Alright, let's take a look at this base. Somebody point out this super obvious flaw. Super obvious flaw. I know! iTunes is... But I don't know why it keeps launching, Mac. That's the thing. It just keeps randomly launching. What the hell is it doing? I have everything off. I have to look at the preferences again after the stream and see why it keeps reloading. Max said it perfectly. LOL, level 3 Treb. Oh, jeez. I wish I knew why this person set up. You think he forgot to remove it after PvP? That's over a week ago. People. So if you're not already aware, in a PvP event with Team Gauntlet, where taking the other team down faster is important, or time. This applies a little bit to Tug of War as well, because it is timed, but not as much as it does for Team Gauntlet. Putting a little tower at the start of your base makes them take longer. So in Sapphire 1, where PvP islands for us are dropping anywhere from 3.5 to about 8.5 minutes, those little extra seconds make a big difference. So Mech is assuming that this person left their level 3 Treb there. They must not have had war. Somebody had to have pointed this out. I mean, they're on Mythic Dragons. Tooth Storm. I'm sorry, Tony. That's funny. Two storms making friends. That's, oh boy, we're gonna be really good friends on this island. Is anyone in this chat a long time player enough to the point where you remember when there was the double invincibility? So back in the day, if you use the super shot on storm towers, they can make each other invincible. Like you couldn't do anything. One storm made the second storm invincible, which made everything else invincible. It was nuts. Double invincibility. They got rid of it pretty quick, but can you imagine a day like that still, where two storms make everything just completely invincible? There's nothing you can do because the storms are invincible. Oh, back in the day. Oh, it cracked me up. Alright, let's do some baby how flying, yeah? I don't think we need lightning resist anymore. I think even my Howzet can withstand a level 3 Treb, but that's just a guess. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let the AI waste super shots on the Treb. So if there's a low level or farm that somebody mistakenly puts up front, Don't kill it right away. Let the super shot kill it, man. So I'm leaving that Treb behind because I want a lot of rage for my follow. That makes life so much nicer, doesn't it? Alright, coming up, I know the next island is a little bit weaker. It's in the teens and 20s. Alright, we're going to take out this blue as quick as we can. We're going to sand everything. These lightning towers are going to fucking hurt. Alrighty, let's do Borg. Borg. It reminds me of like what big dogs say. You know, when the dogs like they don't have a bark, it's like buff, buff. Borg. I'm just talking to talk at this point. So why not? So the only dangerous thing flying here with Borg is we need to make sure that his Thunderbolt doesn't completely unsand everything that we've worked so hard to sand. So this is an instance where Cloak is a much better friend coming around here. Look at that pretty dragon with all those little rune dragons following him. So everything's sanded. Taking it nice and easy. I'm not going to take out the flak until I'm right over it, because I don't want to get hit by the flak if I can avoid it. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, the monument's down. Dang it, wasted a healing mark rage. Damn max level farms. So if that was war, I wouldn't have chosen Borg, but Borg can use the XP. So hi guys, how's it going? Enjoying just hanging out and flying how's it with me? Zeus, your turn! That's cute. Yay, egg took missions. We got one more with Sekhem, guys. Let's go fly Sek on a base. Oh, not Zeus's turn yet. Oh, Zeus. Zeus, if you want a turn, I'll give you a turn. Here, I'll wait longer on this one, Zeus. This is all you, boy. So, Zeus, I'm going to sand stuff for you. Alright? So I'm going to give this a few second break so that way Zeus can hear me say that. Zeus, you're going to go second. Let's see how your flying skills are, boo. There he is. Oh, Zeus, you crack me up. Zeus, have faith. Have faith in yourself. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Zeus has no faith. These lightnings are gonna hurt, though. Zeus smash! Alright, Zeus, that's a pretty solid lead for you, boo. Just watch out for the back end there and the last long. I wish I could have seen those, but they're just 30s. Zeus smash! I know, Mech. I was really dumb. I shouldn't have used explosive shield. Go, Zeusy! I believe in you. He's doing alright. He's doing alright. You got this. You got this. Yeah, Zeus! Look at you! You're kicking butt! Zeus smash! Zeus smash! Oh, almost got that farm! Hey! Well done, Zeus! Here you are saying that we're fucked, and look at that! Well done, Zeus. Well done. I'm proud of you. Alright, that takes care of our egg token missions there. Yeah. Alright, I'm so proud of you. Zeus, like, I'm so proud. So, I wish I could show you guys right now. My cat is right behind my computer. He has a bed back there and everything because it's warm. And gosh, he looks so precious right now. Dang, Zeus is still typing while flying. Chef fingers. Yeah, chef fingers. Zeus, I'm impressed with you too. I'm really impressed. Well done. So that kind of speaks a little bit words. That wasn't the best lead in the world, but talks about why leading and like leaving that tower behind if you can is really key to make sure your assist can follow you well. Zeus, you want to do another one? We can hang out together. I'll lead for you. You can clean up. If you don't want to, that's okay too. I won't force you right now. Let's see. Oh, this is an easy one, Zeus. I'll do this one with Howzet. Alright. Gold star to the person that points out first why this base has so many weaknesses. There's two major points. Come on, come on, come on. Hit me, peoples. I know I have to wait a little bit longer because you guys are a little behind where I am. But I know you guys can figure it out, chat. Long base, too many low-level towers. Yes, so many lightnings. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What else? What else? What else? So one more key thing, guys. It's low level. It's too many of one tower. He groups towers together. What else? Who spots it? Who spots it? No red on first island. Yep, that's a really good point. Those first two islands shouldn't exist in the first place. Look at the last island. So the last island is where he has all of his high-level towers. Why? I couldn't just clear most of the base, leave of one tower at the beginning, and just let them build up rage. It's a tail-heavy base. That's a really good way to put it, Tony. So it's missing a lot of things. So let's have some fun, shall we? We're going to use a little bit of blinking with Howzet. I'm going to slap on a lightning's wrist just for shits and giggles. Few seconds. Alright, Zeus. It's all on you, boo. Alright. I'm going to leave that lightning tower for Zeus. I'm not sure if I want to risk sanding it in case sand destroys it, so that's why I'm leaving it. Why don't I level my house at past level 1? Two reasons. One, I think it's hilarious to hit people with a level 1 house it. And the second one is it forces me to be a better flyer because I can't rely on his heavy firepower. And so I really have to rely on skill versus firepower. So that is the reason why I don't level house it past level 1 yet. This week in streams, we're definitely going to start hunting for him and looking for that for how, though. So, like I said, we're just trying to make this a lovely, easy time for Zeus. We have a lightning left over and a flak left over here. We're still in the lower level towers. Have lots of rage. I'm going to leave a farm here to waste super shots. So there are no defenders in the room. But I'm going to leave that farm there so it can use a ton of super shots as Zeus is flying at it. So that way the following island doesn't give him too many problems. There is no blue on the last island. That is a how-friendly island. Borrowed time. I'm going to take out these towers that are going to give Zeus the most problems as best I can. Alright, Zeus, it's up to you, my friend. So he is going to start right about here. There he is with Scar. Did I see the end? Let's see. Did I see the end of what, Zeus? Yes, I saw the end. The tower levels. You'll be okay. Have faith. Have faith. You can do it. It's mostly farms, Boo Bear. It's mostly farms. And Zeus, too. They're all sanded except for the very back ice tower. You can do it. You got this. Just be careful with spell flex because it's going to unsand things. I was going to say, don't use Sorcerer after how. Sorcerers are the hardest to use after how, that's for sure. You got this, Zeusy. Woo! Look at him. Look at him clear this. Snaps for Zeus, man. Hey, I'm so proud of you. That was such a good job. Well done. That was really good. I think at this point we could do, I would say solid 8 levels on how. Tomato nose. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Let's see where I'm going to type it in my laptop over here. My green screen's going to do some wonky things because every time I change where I am, it does weird things. Zeus does rock a Zeus. I don't think you could say you're no, be proud in yourself. Alright, what I'm doing now is I have my laptop open and I'm taking a look at how's it and seeing what level my alt can get him to before he is capped. So I'm 138, which means I could technically get him to level 20. Challenge ahoy, yo. I think we could easily get him to level 8, don't you guys? Yeah, with that much XP. Well, few days. We're good. So let's go hunting. Alright, this is my new challenge. Ready? I want Howzit to be level 20 before I level up. I better actually start feeding him, shouldn't I? Look at there. So many messages. Alright. Oh, you know what we're going to do right now? This is what we have to do. Let's go see what costumes and stuff we have, what armor. Oh gosh. These are so great. I love these so much. I don't have very many though. This one, I think, no, I don't have many. Let's see on my other account. So I'm going to switcheroo. Cerebus, you're an ugly little dude. We're going to do a switcheroo to my phone. All right. There we go. No, I don't want to. I'll do armor. Is this the nose you're talking about? Oh man, that's so odd. Oh, look at all those. Why have I not been playing dress up with my dragons? Oop. Apparently somebody doesn't want my ult to be hit right now. We're going to take all their rage just for fun. I think they might be mad. When is the deadline for declaring wars? So I learned this from last event. As long as you declare a war before the event starts, it will continue. So the war will actually go through. For some reason, wars are now hanging over into PvP. I am now out of the defense. I was dumping with my ult, so that way I didn't get anything. I was defending myself. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that it's still doing that weird hangover bit thing now. So, is what it is. Before event, see, that's what I thought too, Mech, is that you had to declare before the event island popped up, but some people are saying they were declaring when Treasure Hunt was out last time. So I would do it before the event island pops up just to be safe, but I've heard last time from a friend of mine was in gold for a while who had a war that was declared during Treasure Hunt and that carried over. I don't know. So that'll pop up tomorrow. Or tonight. Is it going to pop up tonight, Mech? Because there's a 24-hour Treasure Hunt. Does that mean I don't have to prep for war tonight? No, I think we can war tonight. I don't know. So do I have to defend for war? Mech, these are things that I expect you to know as our resident mechanical engineer. No, tomorrow. Right, it pops up tomorrow, so we can still war tomorrow. Or war tonight, so we need to make sure we prep for that. Okay, well, hi guys. How you doing? I think I'm probably going to pop off pretty soon. We're about a half hour past schedule, but whatevs. So I think I'm going to go take the dogs for a walk, see what all of these messages are like on my account. For some reason I have 10 messages on one, 9 on the other. So I'm going to check in and see what the heck people want. Yeah, and then we'll hang out together tomorrow. So if you're not already following me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. It is the same exact handle as it is on Twitch, so check over there at the very bottom bar. You can see the Red Delilah is my Twitter handle. So just find me on Twitter. I have posted what my Twitch stream schedule is. It is also on my Twitch channel. So tomorrow we will be streaming at 6 p.m. So come hang out. We're going to have a good time. We'll talk a little bit about the event, and I'll give you some basic strategies that my team does, but I'm not going to share all of our secrets. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been a blast. I hope you've learned something. I've definitely learned a lot of things from you guys, as always. So, bye, guys.